Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with another brand new Eofauna release. This is the final of the new releases from Eofauna, the final of their newest round of 2025 figures. This is the American Mastodon, and this is another really cool figure. Definitely a very nice species choice, one we don't have too many figures of. I don't even know, outside of the Safari LTD version, anybody else that even has one out for this species. I can't really recall, but overall it is a very nice looking figure. Again, just like with the recent Columbian mammoth, I think they did a great job on the sculpt of this, as well as, again, the paint apps. The paint apps of this one look pretty much the same, honestly, as far as the coloration goes, or very similar at the very least to what we had seen with the Columbian mammoth. So it's not too different as far as the paint apps go, just obviously a bit of a different look. So we're going to actually, before we go any further, I'm going to pull this off again so we can, first of all, take a look at the card and everything that's included here. So we can now see again the very nice image of the American Mastodon right there, and then as we move down we can see some more images and information, and then the Eofauna logo on the back. And then when we take a look over here, we can again see a nice silhouette of the Mastodon, as well as the scale, the species name, and then you can of course open this to get a little bit more info and everything as far as the American Mastodon goes. So always really fun to have that stuff included. But as far as the actual figure goes, you can see it looks very nice. The sculpt is excellent, lots of really impressive detailing throughout. Very nice fine fur detail that you'll see popping up through the course of the figure, as well as very nice looking skin detail. You can see that we've got again the nice mixtures of browns and grays and the dark wash, just like we had with the Columbian mammoth. And you can also see we've got a yellow eye with a black pupil, nice gloss coat there for it, shining. You can also see the mouth open in there, and inside the mouth we can see the teeth and everything sculpted out and painted. Nice pink tone with a nice gloss coat in there. And then we've got two more teeth here on the lower jaw. Looking pretty good as far as the inside of the mouth goes. Leading out into the tusks, we have really nicely sculpted fine detail within the tusks, and something that I felt like the Columbian mammoth was missing. On the Mastodon, we do have the dark wash again applied to the tusks, which again, in my opinion, definitely helps to amp up the detail, show off the detail and how nice it is, as well as add a nice element of realism to the figure. And again, I said for the Columbian mammoth, maybe it just came out of the water and it was nice and squeaky clean, and that's why it looked that way. This one, obviously, not so much. It looks as though it's a little bit dirty. But as we lead out, and I drop it for a split second, you can see the trunk looks really good, again, as far as the fine detail, the fur and skin texture and everything leading out, as well as the creasing that you can see leading along. We can see the underside as well. It does have a little bit of a different variation of color in there, kind of like a pinkish tone moving along the underside of the trunk, and everything looks really good as far as that goes. Again, that dark wash really highlighting the detail the entire way down. As you lead over here to the opposing side of the head, you can see it looks pretty much the same as what we had seen on the other side. The ear sculpted out quite nicely over here on the side. Again, a little bit of movement kind of shown within the ear as well, which you can see looks really nice. The dark wash is really abundant up here on the back of the Mastodon. You can see it just kind of gives it a little bit of a darker look up here compared to what we see on the lower half of, not even the lower half, I would say the majority of the figure as you lead down, but you can see a nice little bit of fur up here on the top of the head of the Mastodon. As you move down into the body, you continue to see again some nice fine detail, nice variation of color with different browns and stuff leading down. And as you lead into the front leg, you can see that looks pretty muscular. You can definitely get a nice sense of the muscle definition leading down. We can also see the foot sculpt looks good. We've got the nails, again sculpted nicely, but also painted nicely with a very similar tone to what you see on the foot, but slightly different as far as that shade of color goes. You can't even see, if my camera would focus on it, the undersides of the feet even contain that dark wash, helping to highlight even the detail down there. But as you lead back up into the stomach, you can definitely see some significant girth for the Mastodon. We can also see the skin wrinkling up here as the knee kind of pushes into the stomach. And again, everything looks really good as far as that goes. The skin and fur, there we go, in the stomach region also looks really well done. Again, kind of fine fur throughout, that darker wash, which again is a lot more intense, I guess you could say, up there on the back. Moving down, you can see the knee as it is pushing into the stomach as the mastodon is taking a step. And again, the nice foot sculpt back here. As we lead back here into the back of the mastodon, you can see the skin continues to look really good. Again, the nice fine fur back here as well. And then you lead out, you have the tail sculpted here to kind of lead down toward the animal's left, and you see it kind of curve around the leg. A little bit of fur out there at the end, again painted with a nice black tone. Over here you've got almost the same sort of visual, except the rear leg is really outstretched compared to the opposing side. They're kind of taking a step forward, and this leg is kind of picking up off of the ground as the mastodon as well, again, is taking a step. And you can see everything looks really good over here as it did on the first side. You've got the skin kind of stretching there off of the stomach region as well. But that is definitely a gorgeous, gorgeous sculpt. As far as a size goes, if we go from the further tusk, which kind of looks like it's out just a little bit further because of the angle of the head, you're looking at around 8 inches or about 20.5 centimeters in length. And then for a height to the back of the head, about 3 3/4 inches or 9.5 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect Day Human Being next to our American Mastodon from Eofauna, and you can see it's pretty nicely sized. Definitely not a small figure by any means, but it's also not gigantic by any means either. And since I've already got them out and I used them in the Columbian Mammoth review, here is the TNG Woolly Mammoth next to our American Mastodon, as well as the TNG Stegodon, which you can see is definitely a little bit bigger than our American Mastodon. We've also got the TNG Megaloceros, just like we had in the Columbian Mammoth review as well. And then again, following up with some Eofauna comparisons, we have their Dinotherium next to the American Mastodon. Very clearly a pretty significant size difference. As well as the Eofauna Steppe Mammoth, again quite a bit larger than our American Mastodon. And then we've also got the two newest releases here as far as these prehistoric elephants go, with the American Mastodon next to the Columbian Mammoth. Very much so. Pretty obvious difference in size here. And then again, just like I did with the Columbian Mammoth review, the final comparison I have here is the Eofauna Tyrannosaurus Rex next to our American Mastodon, just to kind of give you one more idea, one final idea of the size. So yet again, Eofauna continues on their streak of creating incredible prehistoric elephants, and we now have an amazing American Mastodon in the line. And again, just like with everything they create, it is gorgeous. The sculpt is absolutely fantastic. I'm honestly, at this point, I would say addicted to the Eofauna figures, because it's really hard to find a company that does more research into making sure that their figures look as, you know, scientifically accurate as it could possibly get than Eofauna. So it's always great to know that when you are going to get an Eofauna release, you are going to get one of the absolute most accurate interpretations of that species possible. And again, you have the same thing here, I would say, with our gorgeous American Mastodon. Extremely impressive when it comes to the fine detail, showing off the movement of the Mastodon perfectly. Lots of really nice skin texture, as well as, you know, fur detail throughout. And on top of that, we've got a very nice paint application. I would say the paint application is almost like exactly the same as what you get when it comes to the Columbian Mammoth, but at the same time, you know, it's kind of what I would expect. Maybe we could have seen a slightly different tone of color, but overall, again, it's pretty much what I would expect when it comes to a species like this. They've done a good job of applying various tones of color, as well as that nice dark wash. The dark wash may be a little too intense in some areas, but overall, I would say they did a pretty darn good job of bringing this thing to life when it comes to both the sculpt and paint. So if you are interested in grabbing one and adding it to your collection, I will include a link in the description to where you can do that from Lana Time Shop right now. So make sure you check that link. Definitely pick this figure up, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.